Good morning, students.
Morning, sir.
Good morning, Josna.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, Asha. Yes. Yes. Yesterday we had wonderful examinations. I would like to give some suggestions how to improve this examination writing. Maximum of students reproducing the notes. So my first suggestion is that acquire knowledge, create yourself, do not reproduce. Okay? Which help us refresh our mind, which is called individualization. The next subject, next unit, yes, already we had been learned that. So you can use your own words, own sentences. Next is that you can add more points. For example, I was given 6 points. You can add more points. So like this, you can create yourself, which is first my suggestion. Next is that this essay question. Every essay question should be started with introduction and conclusion. Okay. So next examination onwards should be include introduction and conclusion for essay questions. So I would like to congratulate everyone, wonderful presentation, method of writing. But many students did not use colors. I would like to advise to everyone should be use colors, different colors use, which more understanding as well as more creative. Okay, now we are going to start with today's discussion. Study of society. First, elements of society. Already we had been learned about definitions. First elements, relationships. Students, every society is started with relationship between individuals, between groups, etc. Second, difference. Difference means different language, different culture, different types of families, different religions is other unique element. Next, interdependence, which means every individual depends on others as well as every institutions depends on others. Next, cooperation and conflict. Students, every society or every groups in the society started with cooperation. Where there cooperation available, there where conflict always exists. So which is cooperation is conflict is part of society. Next, culture. Culture means pattern of behavior which is determined by material and non-material cultural traits. Sixth one, society is abstract. Abstract means always change. change of every social institutions, change in individual life, etc. Next, nature and characteristics of society. First, nature, composed of people, which means made up of people. Society created by individuals and groups. Second, people have mutual awareness. Mutual means, for example, individual, reciprocally aware with each other, as well as institutions, mutually aware with, for example, educational institutions, aware about economic institutions. We have learned for job, job-oriented learning like this. Third one, reciprocal and interrelationship. As the mutual, every institutions depends on every components of society depends on each other. Fourth one, has likeness and differ. Likeness means similarities. For example, same religion, same culture, same education, opportunities. Difference means differences. Different language, as we have discussed. Fifth one, differ in their personality, attitude, intelligence, and faith, which is emphasize that psychological differences, social psychological differences. Sixth one, have cooperation. So this is a fundamental nature of every society. The cooperation is need for sustainable societies. Seventh one, interdependence. As we have discussed, for example, in family, husband, wife, children, interdepends on each other. In macro sociology concern, every institutions interdepends on each other. For example, family depends on economic institutions. Economic institution depends upon family, which means interdependence. Eighth one is dynamic. What do you think about dynamic? Is change, mutual awareness, which means different aspects of changes. Ninth one has its own basis and means of social controls. Basis means this culture or way of behavior. The mainly social control should be concerned. Means of social control means there are two means: formal means of social control and informal means of social control. The formal means, example, society controlled by law. Informal social control, example, society controlled by family. Family members, for example, parents control their own children. Husband control wife, wife control husband, like this, mutually control with each other, which is informal. Tenth one, own distinct culture. Means unique culture. Every society having different and unique culture. For example, agrarian societies having different culture than industrial society. Next, controls individual talents and capacities. We have experiences. In the favorable situations, we can explore our talents and capability, skills, by means of training, educational opportunities, by means of norms, values, etc. 12th one, shape personality of individual. Personality already we had been learned in first year, is individual display behaviors positively or negatively, which determined by characters. So social components shape and good characters. For example, by means of social control, for example, family, parents control the children and shape the good, become a good personality. Types of society, next one. There are three types of society: tribal, agrarian, industrial. Students, keep it in your mind that agrarian society just like rural community. Industrial society just like urban community. First, detail about tribal society. Meaning. According to Oxford Dictionary, tribe is a group of people in primitive or barbarian stage of development having common ancestor. Primitive means very stone age, very old stage of development. Common ancestor means their generations are known by a particular person. Look at this tribal people having unique and different culture. Look at this tribal folk dances, culture. Students, look at this tribal market. There is no buildings, open space in market in tribe, in jungle. The people of tribe have been living in deep jungle. For example, in our district as well as, Cornish is one of the name of tribal groups. They are living in away from normal society. Definition: it is a social group. There are many clan, nomadic, bands, villages, and other subgroups, which usually having a definite geographical area. The key words should be underlined: group, many clan, nomadic, villages, then definite geographical area. Which means the boundaries are defined by. Then characteristics of tribe. Common territory. Territory means geography. Have been defined for particular tribal group. Second, sense of unity. The tribal society comparatively other society more unity than others. The reason is that they are living separately. It's a spatial group away from other societies. Each individuals in the tribal society are relatives. due to endogamy. Third one, common language. Students, every tribe having a unique language. For example, Konis in our district as well as in Kerala, Wayanad, is a tribal groups are there, tribal people, tribal society. They have unique language. They speak about this mixed language. For example, Kannadam, Tamil, and Malayalam mixed and speak have a unique language. In Tamil Nadu, Nilagiri district, one of the unique, one of the tribal groups are available in Tamil Nadu. Fourth one, endogamous. Endogamous means birth and death within the group, or select the spouse within the society. So that's why they have more unity. Fifth one, blood relations. So every members in the tribal society are relatives due to by means of endogamy characters. Sixth one, own political organization. What do you think about own political organization? The tribal society have been governed by himself. They have head of the tribe and subordinates controlled, governed by themselves. Seventh one, importance religion. The tribal people having given more importance to religion than other societies. So mainly they believe towards nature. For example, sun, moon, this storm, is all the nature love. They are belief towards nature and belief towards which become a god. It means religion. Common name. Every tribal society having a unique name. For example, Dodas, Padugar, Konis, numerous tribal societies are available in India. Then structural features of tribal society. First, economic structure. Close to the physical environment, which means close to the climate. They're living in deep jungle, they know about their physical environment, how it's changed, how to manage it. So they have primitive technology to develop their economy. Primitive means very old technology. Second one, social life is simple and integrated. Simple way of life. Mainly they do not use any technology, Modern technology, they don't know about it. Only they're living environmental friendly. Use their own technology, which means, yes, indigenous technology, in other words. So they're so integrated with each other and life become better in tribal society. Then tribal problems. Students in India as well as mainly we need to think about India. Tribal people have been suffer from lot of issues. As we know that tribals are most backward. That's why our government having lot of tribal welfare programs. Mainly we know that, for example, any this educational opportunities, any government job, they allotted this reservation. For example, SC and ST quota reservation. So look at this. First problem is that the problem of geographical separation. Every tribal people like or love to living in tribal area, which means deep jungle. Government says that come back to the normal society. We have to give this building or which means new life, but they don't like. So which is create issues and fight against government in lot of time in various places, mainly in Kerala government. History of Kerala, we know that. The tribal people fight against government. They want their own jungle. Second, socio-cultural problems. Mainly superstitious belief. They believe on, which means belief on nature. Then child marriage. We know that students, we know that in everyday newspapers, in tribal groups having always child marriages are there, which create issues, and government try to control that marriages. Then infanticide, killing of child. Homicide, then animal sacrifice, exchange of wives, black magic, mainly harmful practices, mainly harmful medical practice. For example, any child crying, the people feel the thought that the pain in the stomach. The medicine is that take a iron rod, heat the iron rod, ban on the stomach. When you go to the tribal societies, we could see that the maximum of children's stomach band injuries due to this, the harmful practices. That's why child mortality is very, very high in tribal society. Next problem, economic problem. Students, maximum of tribal peoples living under the poverty line. Then educational problems, more than 80% of illiterate. There's no schools, due to separatism. There is no school, there is no hospitals, in jungle. Fifth one, problem of health and sanitation. High maternal mortality due to child marriages, high infant and child mortality. Sixth one, problem of separatism. As we had learned that. Seventh one, lack of infrastructure, which means there is no school, there is no road facilities, there is no clean water, hospitals, nothing. There is no religious institutions, educational institution, very, very low and primitive development. Then tribal development and welfare in India. So that's why tribal development is primary need in Indian society, India. Constitution of India protect the tribal society, tribal people. First, constitutional provision, constitutional safeguard, Article 342, Article 164, Article 244, Article 275, then representation in legislators and panchayats, Article 330 and 332. In every elections, for example, MP elections, MLA election, Panchayat elections, this particular constituency only for tribal society, a tribal people. Other person not allowed to contest, which means every MP elections, parliamentary elections, a particular members from the tribal society to make law. So which is this beauty of democracy in India. Next, reservation policy in services, as we have discussed, reservation in education, reservation in government job. Fourth one, administration of scheduled and tribal area. Which means separate administrative measures taken by government for separate programs, separate financial packages, and allied with the tribal people, join with tribal people should be involved that. Then tribe advisory council. So it is a council advice to government what are the problem in the tribal society, and try to what are the programs need, etc. Sixth one, commissioner for the scheduled caste and tribe. So which means a person who is under commission identify the issues and report it to the government for formulate good programs to solve the tribal problems. Seventh one, welfare department in the states. Students, every states having separate department. Nowadays, ministries, separate ministries for tribals. For example, Ministry of Tribal Development. Eighth one, educational facilities. Lot of educational facilities offered by government only for tribal students. We know that in tribal area there is no schools. That time, pick up all the students from the tribal area and back to these various hostels. Tribal hostels are there, and stay there, free food, free cloth, and free education given to tribal people or tribal students, children. Then scholarship, as we know that we may experience scholarship for ST students, scheduled tribe, from the lower education, which means school level to higher education, including very high, for example, PhD educations, MBBS, nursing education, as well as given scholarship. Then economic opportunities, mainly for the training, educate some kind of work and job creations, mainly the financial support without interest. For example, every bank, financial institution in India, a lot of financial support grant to the tribal people for their economic development. 11th one, tribal research institutes. Students, this is a unique one. We know that tribal people having unique knowledge and how to manage the physical environment, as we have discussed, primitive technology. So the research department, tribal research, conduct that technology, primitive technology, and how to use the materials which is used in the jungle, and develop their indigenous technology through research and development and support by government. Then integrated tribal development projects. It is a project having integration of multi-project, including healthcare projects, economic development project, then educational development project, etc. So this is a tribal society. Every students need to know about it. Okay. So how to solve the tribal problems by means of various government programs. Then agrarian society we will learn next class. Now questioning time. Students, anybody having any questions regarding yesterday's examinations, feel free to ask. Sona, yes, what do you think about yesterday's examination? Okay, nice. Do you have any questions regarding how to write exam or how to explanation, anybody, anything? Sona. Any questions spark in your mind? Okay. Okay, nice. So now I had seen that your paper, good presentation. Keep it up, okay? Thank you for answer. Asna Nasher.
Yes, sir.
Yes, can you list a few nature of society or characteristics of society?
Commons of the people have the mutual awareness,
Yes.
have likeness and have cooperation, define their personality, altitude, intelligence and faith, etc.
Yes. Okay, thank you for answer, Asna. Jay, thank you everyone. Have a wonderful day. Enjoy the day, okay? Thank you all.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, sir.
Yes,
Thank
thank
you,
you,
sir.
Marthandam.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
yes, Anita. Yes, Abarna.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Yes,
sir.
Sona.
Thank you,
Nikhila,
sir.
nice. Nikhila, yes. Aditya, yes.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, Abhinaga.